Dark by Design may contain graphic and/or explicit content. Audience discretion is advised.
Sorry, my reaction time is off, so
it's okay. Hello.
So much. Hi.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
And hello and welcome. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Bev.
And you're listening to Dark by Design, the podcast where two creative gals share stories of the macabre to then pick them apart before the nightmares start. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
I am good. So this episode is dropping the freaking week before the start of October.
Oh,
spooky season!
I cannot wait. Oh, man, you have no idea. I'm so ready for fall. My body hurts. Sorry, I'm grabbing my boobs a lot. Hey, if you want to see that happen, you can go check out our YouTube video. That's called a great plug, ladies and gentlemen. But the weather around me has been so nice, and it's been raining a lot, and it's been chilly and cold, and I've been actually able to sleep with my windows open. And as we're recording this is the second week of August, and it's just so pleasantly beautiful outside. And it feels like October, fall time already. I cannot wait.
Yes.
I cannot wait, my friends.
Yes. October in California goes from high 110s to mid 80s.
Oh, that's actually a really nice jump. That's a very nice jump. Wow.
I'm so excited.
No, how much do I want to dox myself? I live in Pennsylvania. I will dox myself that far. Our climate is definitely not as severe as yours. But you're also are you close to a desert?
I am
in desert territory.
I am.
Desert.
I am 5 minutes away from a major desert place.
Super cool. I see what you're saying.
That's all I will say.
Yeah. If you want to cut that out, you're more than welcome to. Just go,
I'm
yeah,
fine.
Kind of, sort of. Okay, cool. I was like, sorry about it. I complain about not wanting to dox myself, and then I completely just tell everyone where my friends live.
It's okay.
Address number.
I want friends.
Oh, honestly, it's a great way to make a friend.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. And actually, I think that's actually a great segue into the topic, because who doesn't like a little spookiness into your life, right? Ooh. I'm just kidding. Don't show up at our house, okay? But
please don't.
What are we talking?
I've had a stalker before. I really don't want to. I really don't want another stalker.
We'll take friends, but not like that. Just be cool.
Yeah.
Be cool. And if you're not, we're gonna put you in timeout, but you can totally come back out of timeout if you just be cool. All right. I want to say we're getting our
groove,
our sea legs. Yeah, we're getting our groove. We're getting the sea legs of our radio wave surfing, or I don't know. I feel like we're getting this hosting thing down packed.
Absolutely, we're absolutely getting this hosting thing down. We're doing amazing. We're doing great.
Absolutely. Beverly, your sweet, adorable grandmother approved of our banter, and so that means we are the best of all time. We'll take the Emmy or Oscar, or I don't know what the award is, but we'll take it now, please. Thank you.
Podcast award.
Yeah, the podcast award, whatever. Streamies? I don't know what it is, but we'll take it now.
It was Jacob's grandma, Terry. Terry approved of our banter.
Jacob, your grandma's
Terry's
the best
awesome.
in the world. Terry, Miss Terry, I love you, Miss Terry. One day I will meet you, Miss Terry.
She was a hippie.
That's why I love Miss Terry.
She was a full-on hippie. She was showing me pictures when she was younger. And
yes, go on. Yes.
There's one where she has these nice shorts on and like a loose tank top type thing that goes like this. She had really long blonde hair, and she was just leaning to the side with like a cigarette, just kind of like this. Yeah. And I was like,
she was a cool girl.
Damn, Terry, you were a MILF.
What's Terry doing nowadays? No, I'm just kidding. Aw, man, Miss Terry, I am so very excited. One day we're gonna meet, and I'm gonna interview you, whether you like it or not, in like the most peaceful weed smoking way possible. I don't know if you still smoke weed, but if you like to, I partake in it a lot. But to each its own vice. I'll bring many a thing with me that's legal Hey, listen, that's legal. ADF, if you're
Legal.
listening to us, if that's the right ATF, AK, alcohol,
CIA,
drugs,
KKK.
yeah, some
DEA.
acronym that's in the government. Thank you. Yeah, just don't come for me. It's all legal. Thank you.
It's all legal. Thank you.
How did we get
coming
here?
to our second TED Talk. Spooky season. Do you have Halloween
Yes.
decorations up yet?
No.
I fully
Not
plan
yet.
on being the first house on our block to have Halloween decorations up.
Absolutely
do
do it. Oh, I absolutely love that. I will fully admit I have planned nothing, and I need your help and I need the listeners' help, right? And I'm like actually genuinely asking because I have no idea what to do. So my birthday is on October 29th. I'm 3 days away from thank you. I'm 3 days away from Halloween, and I'm a spooky little bitch for a reason, right? It's also my 30th birthday this year, and I have no idea what to do. I'm also broke. So if you have any like really inexpensive ways to celebrate a 30th, let me know.
How about
I
you
don't know what to
throw a potluck party, right? Where you invite all of your friends, but everyone has to come dressed as a character from like Lord of the Rings or some fantasy thing where everyone comes dressed as a vampire.
Yes. I'm liking this.
And then,
I'm liking this.
You have like punch, and it's called
like a period joke.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Listen, everybody has to come as a hit. Okay, wait, no, it's a double entendre because everyone has to come dressed as a historical figure, and the punch is called the Red Sea. It's a period joke, but it's also at the same time it's a period piece. That's what it is. It's a period piece. Oh, why am I the way that I am? Gosh,
I love
dang it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
That is a great idea. Best idea I've heard all day.
Idea. Thank you. Actually, no, thanks to you. I wouldn't have been able to springboard dive headfirst into that great idea if it wasn't for you building the springboard. So thank you. I love it. Heck yeah. Shall we start the episode, or would you like to banter back and forth? We got a long episode today. It's a long episode, so buckle up, buttercups.
Very long episode, and I am so sorry for it.
No, it's okay.
But I'm also not sorry for it.
Yeah, no, it's going to be so fucking cool. She covers so many topics. I haven't actually read through the notes, so we're all going to be surprised together. I'm going to keep the banter down to as much as I can. Y'all know it's hard for me, but I'll try. So, and if you're more curious, one more time, I got to talk a little bit more. So if you're, speaking of which, if you would like to find more information, photos, and videos on today's topic, you can find them on the show's website at darkbydesignpodcast.com, which is also linked in the description below. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and give us a like, comment, and subscribe because that would be super awesome. And we also like to hear from you and know that you like what we're doing, which is cool. Mm-hmm. It's a way to talk to us, which is fun. Also, if you're listening on other streaming platforms, please rate us 5 stars and leave us a nice comment or two because that would be really nice. And we will compliment you back on live on air.
Yes.
We've been having a lot of weird things to post in the comments. Thank you, Beverly. I appreciate them for the last couple episodes. I want to keep that going. So for the lack of better terms, what's like the craziest occult thing that you've heard of? And not like stupid random shit, but like what's like a really good, like actual, like historical weird shit people used to do. Leave us a comment below because we're going into the Halloween season and I love a good historical fact. So hook us up.
A good spooky thing. I love it.
Yeah, it'll be great. Also, speaking of cute little spooky things, you can follow Bev at Beverlocks on Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. That's Beverlocks with 2 S's, and I am Miss Quirk. That's with 2 K's at the end. I'm on Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube as well. So you can go and follow us as well as the podcast on all of those networks, which are also we have a Patreon now. We got to start pushing that. God, we got a Patreon. So if you want to hear more of us, and I know you guys like how we talk because y'all keep downloading us. We almost at almost 300 downloads within the first 3 weeks of being live. So like,
we are
first off,
thank you. Hell out of this podcast. So we
are. Oh my God,
we don't know how many downloads we're at right now at the end of September, but
it's very true.
Mid-August.
Tell him, Bev. Yeah, we're almost there. I totally forget the timeline of these things. This is why Bev is here. She's the one that keeps this train on track. I'm the one that's driving. She's guiding. It's a mess, but we're a hot mess. So thank you for sticking
Hot Mess
with
Express.
us. Absolutely. Speaking
Choo-choo.
of the train to hell, could you tell us a little bit more of occultism? Because I'm so ready to go on this ride. Yay.
Woo! Buckle in.
Thank you. Okay, wait. Let me. Okay,
Right, ready? We're going up the roller coaster right now.
In. Ooh, Oh God, is this a real big drop? Because I'm so fucking ready for it. Oh, sorry.
You look down. And there's
Ooh.
a small little tiny drop. Let's get into it. So,
okay. I just coast into our seats. I loved it. Great anticipation building.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And then just a disappointment at the end, like I was to my mother. So occultism can be defined. I'm just kidding. Occultism can be defined as the belief in or the study of supernatural or supernormal events that generally fall outside the scopes of religion and science. Wow. I'm one sentence in, but I'm going to segue really quick.
Sure, go for it.
I had to look up what supernormal meant because I was never
just
fucking heard that.
Yep. I was like, what's super normal?
It's like basically
extraordinary?
Just extraordinarily normal. That's what I thought it was. And I was like, yeah. So why is that categorized under the occult? So it turns out supernormal and supernatural are just two different ways of saying the same thing.
Oh, I see. They're synonyms. Okay, I understand. Got it.
Like supernatural, or I guess supernatural doesn't mean like very natural, you know. Super in this in this case would be like other than kind of.
Okay, like an
antonym.
Is it like the? Oh, okay, yeah.
I think
another, kind of like a miracle, like the good, like a really good thing that happens could be like super normal, like the Virgin Mary tears or something like that. I don't know. I'm speculating wildly here.
Yeah,
but okay. I don't know. I have no idea. I have, or like this like it's a chair, but it's like a really cool chair.
Yeah, linguistics majors or English majors. Yeah, if you guys know, let us know. Because help, because we need help.
Yeah, you can hear it. You see us struggling too.
We're just over here with our gears turning in our heads.
We could have Googled it, but we won't.
We won't. We're here. You're in for this ride with us.
Yeah.
All right. In recent years, occultism has taken on a negative connotation in the Western world. However, in Eastern countries, occultism is more accepted than it is here.
Oh, okay. I see.
So I believe the reasoning behind this, or behind the negative connotation, is that many people mix up or tend to like blend occultism and cults. The reason,
shit. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's because they sound so similar, but occultism and cults like really normally don't have like anything to do with each other. They are not one and the same.
Gotcha.
But they're rather like very, very different.
Understood. Out of curiosity, is there a possibility that they could sometimes overlap, but they are not one and the same?
Yes.
Okay.
So
cool.
some cults do adopt occult practices.
Okay.
Thank you. So, occultism and cults are not one and the same, but rather they're very different. Some cults may adopt occult practices, like the examples that we just touched on, but not all cults are occult. So get your mind out of the cult gutter.
Throw it out. Get that.
Throw it on out. So just for general knowledge, according to the CUNY, the City University of New York, I believe is what it's called, CUNY website's digital occult library, occult is, quote, considered to be a religious, spiritual, or philosophically fringe belief system enforced and developed by a singular charismatic leader. So that is what a cult is. So it's like it's very fringe belief, so like QAnon and shit, that people look up to one leader or sometimes multiple leaders that are just like the select few. And they kind of all like practice the same thing. So according to the same website, occult, so OCCULT, can be translated very, very roughly to a disparate set of beliefs and practices from across all cultures and time periods in human existence that are characterized by their esoteric and spiritual nature. Sorry, this is a long one. As well as their propensity to be kept secret from the general population for fear of persecution, misuse, misunderstanding, or to retain power through secret knowledge. I know that was a lot. Let me recap really quickly.
Yes, please. Yes.
Cult, you're looking up to one person. It's a pyramid scheme. Occult is a set of beliefs and practices that are maybe considered fringe by some people, that are practiced throughout different religions, different cultures across all time and space. Kabbalah, that's a cult because it's something that's been kept up, right? Like the Freemasons.
Oh, I see. The Freemasons are a cult.
Okay. They are also categorized under the secret societies.
I see. And we are saying occult, OCCULT. They are not a cult. They are a part of the occult. Occultism. Okay. Yes. Occultism. I just want to clarify it because I keep getting, I'm like, oh, is that a cult or occult? But okay. I just wanted to clarify. Thank you. Anyway.
I'll start saying occult.
Yeah. No, it's fine. Also, just a really quick segue. I like how their acronym is CUNNY. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. It's so close to cunt.
Yeah. They got to throw a T in somewhere.
Auto-correcting to cunt. And I was like, Google, please.
Please stop. I don't want my history to be that weird. Stop it.
Please.
Dang.
The digital occult library at cunt. Ugh.
Oh,
but
that's fair.
Yeah, right? So, that definition I just gave, I said roughly because there isn't actually a set definition for this. So, every single source that you look at, it may have some like overlapping qualifications for the definition, but everything is just wildly different. Like it's so this was like the most well put together definition that I could find.
I was gonna say it was very anthropological, so great job. I don't know if that's a word, but I'm gonna say it confidently and act like it is. So
it is very anthropological.
Hey, you know what? If we're going to talk about a cult, I feel like I would be a good cult leader. So the charismatic one of it, I'm going to make that a word now. So if it not already is.
Yeah.
Go ahead, as you are.
Yeah. I would join your cult. I feel like I'm very gullible and I would probably join any cult. I know for a fact I probably would have been in the Manson family.
Oh, I wouldn't join, but I definitely would smoke weed with you guys. I'm not going to lie.
I take it back. I don't think I would be. They did weird sex things, and I'm very, like,
you
shy.
know what? That's true. That is true.
Yeah, so I definitely wouldn't have joined. I also don't think I would have fallen for killing people. I would have left.
I agree with you 110%. I would have.
I'm not that gullible.
I would have packed up my rolling papers and said, hey, I wish you guys the best, but don't involve me. Yeah. Hey, I think, honestly, this is why we make a great team. Because, hey, you could be a great cult follower.
You'll talk me down from the ledge.
Yeah, I can be a great cult leader. So I'm just saying that if we ever want to have, like, a really, like, funny, I don't know, it has to be, like, something that's non-serious. Because I don't want to get in trouble with, like, the law and someone's screaming at me that I'm, like, a communism or something like that. So, like... But I just want to have like a really funny like little cult thing going. Or I don't know.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. Anyway,
that sounds awesome. Sorry, I'm like trying. If it sounds like I'm farting, I'm not. It's this chair. I had to.
That's good.
Another segue. Sorry.
Sure.
I had a different chair. It was like that beige one, and like I like that chair because I can sit cross-legged, which is what's most comfortable for me. Yeah. And this chair, it actually has like arms. So I can't do that, and it fucking sucks. No. So, like, I'm over here, like, in a weird position trying to adjust, and then I'm also wearing shorts, and it's also leather. It's just really hot. But the other one, seat fell through yesterday, and I, like, completely ate shit in the middle of work. So that was fun.
I'm so sorry for laughing. Dang, I really tried to hold that one in. I don't know if you can see it on my face. Oh damn! Is it just like an old chair, just like made shittily?
Yeah, it's just an old chair.
Okay, that's fair. But
Yep.
that's like, oh man, that's like such a heartbreak because you're like my
Yeah.
favorite thing finally gave out.
Yeah.
Oh man,
It gave out.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry
okay.
about that. As a fan of someone who loves to thrift, I'm one of those girls. When one of my favorite pieces break, it's like heartbreaking.
It's heartbreaking.
I'm so sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay. It's just really comfortable.
Thanks.
I'll look for a new chair after Denmark. But
Heck yeah.
yeah. So, it was hard to decide with this episode exactly where I wanted to go with it because
Sure,
occultism is just like such a broad topic that we could honestly cover over like many episodes. Like this could be a 6-part series, honestly. But I'm not going to do that to you guys.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's
yeah.
like, yeah. It's like talking about like the animal kingdom and going, all right, now we're going to talk about every single species that we got here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I see what you're saying. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can't sit through long series.
Mm-hmm.
I get very bored, especially like podcast series.
Sure,
I need like one hitters. So that's kind of what I aimed to do in this one. So,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like my thought process kind of went, do I want to explain every single occult practice and belief that there is out there? Or do I want to focus on some more well-known ones and dive into the history and practices surrounding them? So it's kind of like teeter-tottering between the two because there are so many practices and beliefs that fall under this umbrella term of occult.
Yes.
Yeah, so it depends which hemisphere you're from, pretty much. So many
Very true.
Westerners, so like the United States, Central America, South America, etc., maybe even like Europe, they correlate occultism to Satanism, dark magic, witchcraft, and like weird demonic summonings. But that's just so, it's just so far from the truth. Because, like, a cult is not a bad thing. Like, you can't just assume that it's, like, always used for evil or like, always used for dark magic, etc. Like, it branches out so much more than that. Like, yeah, some people may take occultism and run with it. And they're like, I'm going to summon, like, every single demon that's, like, in the first, like, 8 layers of hell. And they're gonna do my bidding. Like, yeah, okay, that's on you, guy. That's your prerogative. I don't care.
But that there's also other good things that are part of it. That's just like
it's
mysterious. It's the mysticism that scares people, I think, the most.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not knowing.
Yeah. Yeah. And like the loudest and the scariest thing gets the most attention, and then that one becomes all.
And it just kind of ruins it for everyone else. Yeah.
Yep. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
That is a great thing to bring up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like not everything's bad, not everything's black and white. I'm sure you guys know that. Because if you're listening, then you're clearly one of the smarter ones. But
Exactly. You too are a spooky little thing.
So some people may take this and go the demonic route. But that's a very, very small minority of people that do practice the occult. For most people, however, occultism encompasses topics of astrology. So, horoscopes. If you're into horoscopes, you're into the occult. Hate to break it to you.
Zodiacs.
Stop talking down on us.
Yeah, get out of here.
Honestly.
Stop gentrification or occultism. Get out of here.
Or, if you're still here, tell us what your sign is down below. Yep.
That's true. I'm a Scorpio, if that wasn't very clearly obvious.
I'm a Gemini. I'm very scatterbrained.
Hey, me too.
I'm not two-faced, though. Stop saying that about Geminis. It's not true.
Yeah, not every single one of them.
Not every single one of us.
Cool.
Only some.
That's cool. Mm-hmm.
I'm cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, bad names. We just talked about it. One does not mean all. Thank you.
Did you know Trump is a Gemini and so is Kanye West?
No, don't say that. I'm so sorry that they're on your team.
Oh,
you know who
okay.
I have? Right, a little wider. Sorry, I already
Are
said
you
it.
fucking serious?
Winona
Ryder?
Ryder. Yeah, sorry, I flipped the W and the R. Yeah, I do. Yeah, also, I think she's born on my birthday. Hold on, let me Google that. I'm cooler than you.
I was born the same day as Tupac.
Oh! Okay, you out-cooled me.
No, I think Winona Ryder...
I'll admit that. No, it's fine.
She's so cool. She's been in like so many roles. Who is she? She's the mom in Stranger Things. She was
October
in
29th,
Edward
1971.
Holy shit. Are you serious?
Also, it's also National Cat Day in the United States. It's also my birthday, too.
What a great fucking day. That should be a national holiday, honestly.
I'm telling you what, we should all get off. Oh, well, I mean, yeah, we should all get off, but we should all get off of work that day and play with our pussies. Get off of work and get off. That's what we should do.
Yeah, play with your pussy on your day off.
Yeah, I'm a cat lady for a reason. I was born on the day. Anyway, sorry, I went on a tangent. As you are?
So, occultism encompasses topics of astrology, so horoscopes, like what we just talked about, the Kabbalah, divination, scrying, historically secret societies, so like the Masons, Hermeticism, and theurgy, to touch on a few.
I don't know what those last two are.
So, Hermeticism.
Insert elevator music here.
Hermeticism is a label used to designate a philosophical system that is primarily based on the purported teachings of Hermes Trismegistus. He's a Hellenistic combination of the Greek god Hermes and the Egyptian god Thoth.
Oh, how interesting.
So that's Hermeticism.
Yeah, theurgy, or I don't know how you say it. The operation or effect of a supernatural or divine agency in human affairs. A system of white magic practiced by the early Neo-Pelagians. Oh, no, I can't sound it out in my head. There you go.
That's cool.
I don't know. Yeah.
Damn.
So operation effect of supernatural or divine agency in human affairs. Yeah, so I guess just like the, I don't know, magic nature on human behavior, I guess. I'm not quite sure. But anyway.
That makes sense. That sounds cool. Fuck yeah.
We learn things here in this podcast.
Yeah.
You can't say that you don't learn something here.
If you haven't learned anything, then you are a liar, good sir, because I know for a fact you have. I know for a fact you did not know children picked eggs from Hagley Woods.
Oh, yeah.
During World War II.
Episode 7. Throwback, callback, whatever the kids are saying. Yeah, see? Now you know. You know, it might be a good fact or it might be a silly little fact, but at the end of the day, it's still a fact.
It is a fact. And you still learn something. So after much debate, I decided to focus on a few of these topics that may help prepare you guys, and you, Rachel, for episode 13, which I won't reveal yet. However, if you guys are able to guess what we will be talking about in 2 weeks, count them, 2 weeks, leave us a comment below, and if you are right, then we will give you a shout out on our next episode.
Oh, I love that. Hurrah. Yes, absolutely. I'm here for it.
So in this episode, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just listening.
No?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just here buckling up.
All right. So in this episode, we'll be telling you a brief history of occultism, and we'll go into the most prominent practices between the late 19th to late 20th centuries, and some of the major practices throughout history. We'll be bringing in some more specific practices along the way as we progress through the timeline. You'll be hearing about mediumship, divination, and scrying. And then this is not necessarily occult, but it does have to do with the occult, the Society for Psychical Research. I'm sure some of you guys have heard of it. Yeah.
I think I have, yes. I want to be a part of it. It sounds really fun.
After you hear about it, I don't think you will want to. But
okay, never mind. I retract my statement until I hear further evidence. Okay, thank you. Jumping the gun, I hear. Okay, cool. I'll sit.
They're not horrible. They're just kind of the worst. Yeah, they're party poopers.
Never mind. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll be going into the general history and bringing each of these subjects in along the timeline, as I mentioned earlier, so they make sense chronologically. Additionally, we'll also be touching on when and why these practices began to be seen as demonic or ungodly, as Christians like to call it.
Got it. Okay. Yeah.
I didn't even know a lot of people kind of associated the occult with like demonic practices until I did this research I literally had to sift through pages of Christian websites that were calling these perfectly normal practices ungodly. Please.
Oh, wow.
Tarot reading is not ungodly, Pastor Jim. It's normal. It's fun. It's like manifestation. It's intuition. You get in touch with yourself. It is not ungodly. But for this episode, I got most of my information from the City University of New York's Digital Occult Library. So, Cooney, aka Cunt. Cunny.
Ah, yes. Cooney. Oh,
Cooney.
Yeah. Okay. I see how you can
It
say
might be
that too.
Cunny.
Yep. No, I like
I don't
Cooney.
know. Cooney?
We'll interchange it.
Hell yeah. All right. Yeah,
Whatever
we'll
you
just switch
feel
it
like
up.
saying. Yeah.
So if you guys would like to learn more about this ginormous topic, I highly recommend checking out their website. I'll link it in the sources on our website at www.darkbydesignpodcast.com. No, at Gmail. Just .com.
You can email us at Gmail, but that's
you
it.
can email us at Gmail, but otherwise it's just .com for our website.
I mumbled. Sorry. Go ahead.
No worries. So this website is really cool. It's factual, it's unbiased, and it's very well researched. It's kind of like, I wouldn't say it's like JSTOR. It's like a blog, but it's not just opinion. If that makes sense.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they have like a really cool article on Midnight Gospel, which is a show on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, it's so good.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I do. Oh, how excited!
It's a cartoon.
Oh. Yeah. Oh man. Oh, I would love to. Oh, I kind of want to read that article now. Okay, so cool. It's like a really cool website. All right. I have to check this out.
Yeah, they're really cool.
What is it again? What's that? The City. Go ahead. The City University of New York.
University of New York's Digital Occult Library. Like on the right hand side, they have a link for the Midnight Gospel.
Perfect.
All right, so let's get into it. Earlier, I mentioned the sort of definition of occultism. The actual word occult, however, comes from the Latin word occultus, which can be translated to knowledge of the hidden.
Ah, yes. Okay. I see.
According to Wikipedia, the oldest use of the term came about in France, or at least the oldest recorded use of the term came about in France in 1853 by Freemason author Jean-Marie Ragon.
Ooh,
So,
the Freemason again. He's French. That's why I said his name like that.
Wow.
Interesting. Fascinating.
I'm sorry, French people.
The Freemasons again.
No,
we're not sorry, but we are sorry.
Yep,
we did pick on the Dutch last episode.
We picked on the Dutch last episode. Yep. We're picking on the French again this episode.
That's right. We either love everyone equally or we hate everyone equally. Thank you very much. Hate on each other equally, but we don't
discriminate.
Okay. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'll let you continue.
All right. So Jean-Marie Ragon, their use of the word was seen in the popular work Maçonnerie Occulte, which translates to occult masonry in English.
Ooh, okay.
This work addressed how occult has been used since the Renaissance for occult sciences and occult philosophy.
Oh, so like alchemy and stuff.
Yeah. Alchemy. Alchemy's, yeah, that was one of the major ones.
Oh shit. Ding ding, 10 points.
Ding ding ding. You learned something new today, folks.
Thank you. And I can actually reference that back. I knew that because of a video game.
So touching on the occult sciences, these were developed in the 16th century, so the 1500s, and it was an umbrella term for astrology, alchemy, as Rachel stated earlier, divination, and natural magic, baby. So, again, we're seeing astrology in this group. However, the zodiac signs weren't created in the 16th century, but rather they were created way before that, like millennia before that. Yeah. The 12 zodiac signs were created by the ancient Babylonians in the late 2000s BC.
Whoa.
BCE.
Whoa. Yes. Whoa.
Yeah. But it wasn't until the times of like ancient Greece that we saw them coming more to the forefront. We see the zodiac also being very important, like a very important part of ancient Chinese societies around that time as well, albeit like a different zodiac. So like the Western version of it is the 12 signs. So like Aries, is Aries a first? Yeah, Aries all the way through Pisces.
I see.
Whereas in like China, or at least the Chinese zodiac, it is the, you know, like the dog, the dragon, the hare, the pig, etc. But the reason that the zodiac came to be was that the Mesopotamians, the ancient Mesopotamians, saw the position of the sun against different constellations and gave each position an assigned name and time period based on their observations. Very quick segue about this. When I look up at the stars, the only constellation I know is the Big Dipper.
Uh-huh.
How
do they know?
How did they
know
see
all of that?
All these different shapes in the stars? I don't get it. It's crazy.
Yeah. How did you figure that out without Google? I would like to know. How did you just figure that on your own? Because that's like a Morse code of bullshit up there. Like someone
Morse code of bullshit. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's how that was. Wow. I'm in like complete shock. I'm actually lost for words. You can mark that on the calendar. Wow, that's really cool. I didn't know the Babylonians like figured that out. That's awesome. Because I thought it came from ancient Greece. But ancient Greece just like magnified it and made it popular. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that.
From there, it wasn't until the Renaissance that we see the zodiac signs being used under the general astrology terminology and finally given a place within as an occult science. So it was in the Renaissance that it was officially designated a science, or occult science rather.
How interesting. Okay, so it's been around for a bit, but that's the only time it was really categorized. Wow. Yeah. Okay, very fun. Very fun. Huh,
it's really cool.
I love history.
Me too.
I love it.
Aside from astrology, we also see occultism very present in all sorts of ancient and medieval societies. So from 1515 BCE to the 1600s or 1660s CE, we see occultism. That's a long time. That's more than 1,000 years. How many years is that? 1600 plus 1500. That's like 3,000, 3,500 years, something like that. I think.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
I can't do the math.
Yeah.
But like, no, it's correct. It's like the opposite sides of the timeline. That's the spectrum. If you understand the timeline. BC, CE. Yeah, absolutely. No, I think you're right on with the math. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Good math. Good math.
Yeah. Thank you.
Round of applause.
So over the course of like this huge time span, we see occultism play a major part in ancient Rome, ancient Greece, ancient Egypt, ancient Persia, and all the way up through Queen Elizabeth I, the monarch of England. Ancient societies use divination, scrying, and astrology as a means to devise their war strategies, tell the future, quote unquote, and make the next best moves for the expansion of their kingdoms. So, just for some juxtaposition here, it appears that occultism was more of a tool back then for next moves and life or death reasons amongst royalty. So, like the Aztecs would have priests that would do like peyote and like ayahuasca and like get in touch with like their ancestors. So like that's occultism, and then they would use that to kind of same with like ancient Egypt and ancient Greece, like the oracles in ancient Greece.
Yes.
You know,
I just correlate them. Okay, so I'm going to make this statement, and I'm not going to explain it at all, and then you're just going to carry on as you are. Okay? I'm going to give you guys a research topic.
Okay.
Vulvas, Icelandic folklore magic. Go look it up. I'm not explaining anything. Go look it up. Yep. Like the vagina.
Can I ask for clarity? Oh, vulva. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to look that up.
But it also has, it has to do with Icelandic magic. Oh, I'd love to do it, actually, yeah. Actually, it's really cool. I am reading a book on it right now. Is it like sex magic? Why am I like Yeah, no, it's not sex magic at all. I'm not explaining it. You have to look it up.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah. But
I'm gonna look into that.
It's Icelandic like magic folklore vulvas, essentially. Yep, spelled like the vagina part. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited.
As you are.
Ooh, I'm so excited. So, occultism was used as a tool back then in order to devise war strategies, make sure that they're still on the right track, etc. Whereas now, or today, occultism has been seen as more of like a parlor trick. So, like playing a Ouija board at a sleepover, right? Or like people reading your cards on YouTube, or like divination on YouTube. So that's a form of occultism. So it's like way more accessible. So the French term was first used in 1853 by Jean-Marie Ragon, who was a Freemason author. The first use, or like the earliest use of the term in English, however, came about in 1875 in the American Spiritualist magazine article titled Spiritual Scientist. New band name?
Oh, absolutely. Actually, that sounds really cool.
I love it. But the Spiritual Scientist, this article was written by Helena Blavatsky, who founded the Theosophy religion. Helena, she is such a fucking bamf, dude. God, I could go on a deep dive about Helena. Like, people give her shit over, like, the Mahatma papers, which we'll get into later. Like, people just don't believe it. Blah, 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 blah. That's your prerogative. If you don't want to believe it, whatever. I went into it head first, and I was like, this is fucking cool. Like, even if it's not real, just the fact that someone could, like, come up with, like, papers like that. Because, like, in my research, I read through all of them. They were so cool. Wow. There's so many. But, oh my God. They're just so freaking cool. Yeah,
I'm down to do a piece on her.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah, let's do it.
She's such a badass.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would love to listen to a badass diva talk about the occult.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Ooh. She, so again, this is like the 1800s, the late 1800s. She founded a religion. She traveled all over the world. The like home base of Theosophy was in India, somewhere in India. Oh. It was really cool. Okay. But she was like Russian, I think. But she was born and raised in England, I believe. And she was just this fucking amazing, incredible, beautiful, incredible fucking independent woman in the 1800s. And she lived such a wonderful and thrilling life.
Wow.
Yeah. The first time I ever heard about her was actually in Occult Confessions, which is another podcast. Plugging two podcasts today.
Sure.
But Occult Confessions, I found them 2 or 3 years ago, and like they divide their podcast into like seasons, and they cover like a different broad topic every season and go into like the timeline and the history. It's really well researched, but it actually, that was the first podcast I ever heard that prompted me to start deep diving into, because I used to be scared of like witchcraft and like stuff like that, like being raised in a Latina household, like it's demonic, like blah 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 blah.
That is fair. Yeah.
Hearing that podcast take on it just kind of put it into perspective for me. Like, not everything's bad, and like a lot of this has an explanation. A lot of it's really good. The host has a PhD in occult sciences, I believe, or occult practices.
Yo, you can major in that?
Yeah. In Maryland.
Damn it.
But that podcast, all of the voice actors are, and like the participants are also his students. So it's really cool. But back to Helena Blavatsky. She used the terminology first, and it only grew and grew from there. So, so as soon as it expanded into like English speaking territory, it just exploded overnight. Like just the spiritualist movement. So by the time the 20th century hit, it was basically a household term. So occult was a household term. So, so we can see it kind of evolving over time, and it's really cool. Between the 19th and the 20th centuries, we see the rise in American mysticism, which is commonly referred to as the American spiritualist movement, and that's all thanks to the Fox sisters.
God, I love the Fox sisters. They're so fun.
They're so fun.
I know of them, but I don't know too much. But go ahead. Tell us about the Fox sisters. They're so cool.
Oh, I'll get into it, sort of. Again, this is very brief. But also during this time, so the end of the 19th up to like the mid 20th centuries, we also see a rise in prominent figures. So like Helena Blavatsky, who also went as by Madame Blavatsky, Aleister Crowley, and Dion Fortune, as well as different practices, including, but not limited to, seances, fortune telling, mediumship, and mesmerism. So, So I didn't know there was a difference between mediumship and mesmerism until I looked it up. So mesmerism is basically like hypnotizing. So like you're mesmerizing the audience, like you tell them to all go and like lull themselves into a deep sleep, blah, 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 blah. Mediumship is basically when you're making contact with the other side. So like through a physical or a spiritual sense is, and like you're making contact with them. So yes, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I was actually mulling over the idea of the difference between the two. So thank you for letting me know that. I'm the audience now, so thank you.
Yeah.
Thorough research. Good on you.
Thanks. It's not that thorough, but we're going to keep plowing through it.
That's fine. Say it with confidence, and I'd never know.
So keep in mind that during the Victorian era, there was a huge spike in the interest surrounding the occult. I mean, people were paying big bucks, like big bucks in order to see mystics.
Wow.
Like back then, it was 25 cents a ticket, which adjusted for inflation today, that is $9.62. Well, yesterday it was $9.62. It might be more today. In order to see the Fox sisters in New York. So seeing these occultists was basically like going to the movies. It was like a great form of entertainment, and it cost roughly the same price as a movie ticket. Maybe not today, but 5 years ago.
Absolutely. You know what? That's too funny. I was just going to make that correlation. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow. How entertaining. Okay. Yeah. That's a good perspective on the movement. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Because of this huge rise in Victorian era mysticism, we also see an even bigger rise in the skepticism surrounding the occult. Even though some of the people demonstrating physical and magical abilities may have been the real deal, there were more than likely just as many people that were frauds. And because of this, a fact-checking society was created in order to, I'm going to repeat that, sorry. Because of this... no problem.
Sorry, I lost my vape. Yes.
Oh, no, it's okay.
We're good.
So because of this huge rise in Victoria-era mysticism, we also start to see an even bigger rise in the skepticism surrounding the occult. So even though some of the people demonstrating the physical and magical abilities may have been the real deal, there were more than likely just as many people that weren't, and that were actually frauds. So because of this, fact-checking, quote-unquote, society was created in order to investigate and possibly debunk some of the claims being made by these people. So the Society for Psychical Research was founded in 1882 by a group of intellectuals claiming to... I think I repeated this twice. No, I didn't. Okay. The Society for Psychical Research was founded in 1882 by a group of intellectuals trying to investigate claims of spiritualism, mediumship, and mesmerism. We see them play a huge role in debunking different people, or at least trying to, such as the Fox sisters. And then we also see prominent figures, such as Harry Houdini, trying to debunk flim-flammers in his lifetime.
Oh, so cute. That is so cute.
It's so cute.
Oh, man. Okay.
Yeah. So Harry Houdini, in his own words, said, "It takes a flim-flammer to catch a flim-flammer."
That is very true.
True words have
That is
never
very
been
true.
spoken.
Yep. Oh my God. You can. Yep. You can point out an asshole out of the crowd if you are an asshole yourself.
If you are an asshole yourself. Absolutely.
True words indeed have never been spoken. Wow. Also, speaking of assholes, I can totally understand why you said the Society of Psychic Research is kind of a bummer. So, I guess they just try to debunk everyone. I see what you're saying.
And, like, the name sounds so cool. Because if you first hear that without knowing what they're doing, what their mission statement is, you're like, fuck yeah, I want to join a society for psychical research. That sounds awesome. That sounds like my dream fucking job. I will join the society. But then you start, it's like Scientology. Like, you think it's all science at first, but then you see people are being brainwashed left and right. Please don't sue me, Scientology. I also don't want stalkers outside my door. Thank you.
Yeah, that is fair. Dang. Yeah, it's like, I will join them if they're like, haha, we're like the Scooby-Doo gang, and we're going to go around and be cool, and just, like, solve some mysteries.
Exactly.
But if they're the ones that, like, crab walk because they have their heads shoved up their asses and, like, just to call everyone frauds, I don't want to be part of that group. Like, I don't want to be part of that group.
I don't think so either. Aside from the Fox sisters and Madame Blavatsky, who were, like, two of, like, the biggest people that you wanted to see back then, there were also practicing occultists that were forming, like, their own societies and stuff, such as Aleister Crowley, and they were also a big deal back then. People, especially in America, would like pay serious money to see some of these people live. So, like, whenever the Fox sisters and Blavatsky were touring, like, a lot of people were paying more than those 25 cents.
Interesting. I see. Okay. So they were like the Beatles.
They were the
Beatles.
Beatles.
Stars.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
They were the Spookies.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. Wow. How interesting. What a level of fame. Okay.
Right? Oh, to only be that famous. But, right? I wish. Seances and Ouija board sessions went from being something that you witnessed in the Victorian era to something that you would basically have as a household item during the 60s, which is when these boards were starting to be marketed as toys for children. I mean, during the Victorian era, these people were using the boards for date nights so they could touch hands and get off, like, after. Oh, golly
oh my
me.
God.
I touched Marguerite's
like
pinky tonight. I'm just going to jack off as soon as I get home.
Oh. Gross. Wow. So this was like a way. Oh, this was like an activity aphrodisiac, if you will. Ooh. Demon isn't the only one reaching up to touch somebody to possess another soul.
Succubuses and incubuses can move on over. I'm in line tonight.
Right? I'm first. I'm here first. Oh, I see. How funny. Oh, how fun. Oh, I love the Victorian era. Oh, I'm gonna decorate my house
cool.
as I'm gonna decorate my gigantic manor, my Victorian manor, because of course I have to buy one. And it's gonna look like a modern day Victorian cult house. It's gonna be great.
That sounds great. Occult.
With an O, not an A.
Occult.
Thank you. Occult. Yeah, okay. Yes. The spiritual movement.
So seances and Ouija board sessions went from being something witnessed in the Victorian era to something you would have as basically a household item when these fucking boards started being marketed towards children in the 60s.
That's so weird.
It's so weird.
Why the shift? I have to look into that.
Yeah, I should have looked into that. But
it's fine.
In the 60s, these boards were literally being mass-produced in toy stores as toys for children. I was writing this last night, and I was like, no wonder the world is such shit today, man. Little Jimmy and Lisa were fucking opening demonic portals, demonic gateways into hell by asking the Ouija board if Julia had cooties.
Oh my god. You know what, Bev, that makes so much sense because if there was like ever a boom of like really weird cryptids in like the what is this, 70s or 80s or whatever, it's because those little fuckers in the 60s and 50s
were opening gateways to the other side.
Yes.
But that was in the 60s. Closer to the end of the 20th century, many people actually ended up associating it with demonology and satanic practices, such as during the Satanic Panic. So, that was
my connection.
A very, 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 emphasis on very, brief history of the occult. Just like my very, 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 very brief history of Freemasonry. So,
that is fair.
Yeah. So, each of these time periods could honestly have their own deep dive episodes, but I'm not going to do that to you guys just yet. If you guys do want a deep dive on like the different time periods and what they had to do with the occult, you can let me know. But I'm just not going to go into what ancient beliefs were for now. What I will be focusing on, though, is the Victorian era and the spiritualist movement. So I'll be looking further into mediumship, divination, and scrying, and the Society for Psychical Research between the 19th and 20th centuries. Before we get started on those three topics, I'll just kind of be giving you like three different definitions. So the first is mediumship. And mediumship is the practice of communicating with familiar spirits and other spirits of the dead. So those who practice mediumship are also known as mediums, and they typically fulfill their practices through seances, Ouija boards, and scrying. Scrying is the process of looking at a medium, so not a human, but an instrument, so like a physical medium, in order to detect significant messages or visions. So kind of like looking into a bowl of water or a crystal ball. A good way to think about this is in Harry Potter, where they're looking into the water and they kind of like zoom in through it. You know what I mean? Where he sticks his head and goes into a memory. Kind of like that, only less cool.
Or like,
so
or like Galadriel in like the end of like the second, or like the last half of the Fellowship of the Ring movie. Yeah. We're all in it together. Our nerds, bring it together.
I love it. I love it. That's a good. I still haven't seen it. I have to watch it.
We'll watch it together. I swear, we're gonna make a video on it. You're welcome.
Fuck yeah. First reaction. So scrying. So it's kind of like looking into a bowl of water. So like in Harry Potter, or like Galadriel. Or a crystal ball, like you typically see fortune tellers doing, where they're like, "Ooh, let me see your future in this crystal ball." Another powerful scrying medium is hypnosis. So if you've ever been hypnotized, that's a form of scrying, because you're kind of looking into someone's mind, right? So like you're yeah. And then the last definition is divination, which is a different way of attempting to gain insight into a situation or question by way of practice or ritual. So many people tend to group together fortune telling and divination. However, they are different. So divination has processes that are more like ritualistic and are significantly more formal. Fortune telling is more personal and is not nearly as ritualistic as divination. A good example of divination, again taking it back to Harry Potter, is Professor Trelawney with the tea leaves. Yeah. Divination. So like you drink the tea, the way the tea leaves are set out, like you can interpret it different ways. You're looking into your future that way.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and it's a little bit more ritualistic. Like you kind of have to really like sit down with yourself, have some inner peace, meditate, like really get into that headspace where you can be more intuitive and in touch with what people call spirit, right?
Yes.
So
okay.
Yeah. And then fortune telling is more personal and not nearly as ritualistic as divination. Am I too quiet? Am I too far away from the mic?
No, you're doing great.
No?
Am I?
Okay. No.
Okay.
Just double
Listener,
checking.
are you too close to the mic? Double check yourself right now. We'll give you 3 seconds.
1, 2, 3, go.
Yes. Okay. Okay, I think they're great. Okay, thank you. Okay. Mm-hmm. Thank you for your participation. All right. Back to the story.
Back to the story. All right. So, ancient Greeks and Mesoamericans. Mesoamericans are the Aztecs, the Mayans, the Incas, etc. So everyone in,
Thank you.
Central and South America,
Yes.
like all of the ancient civilizations, they used divination as a means of communicating and receiving important messages from the gods. So again, with the Greeks, they had the oracles that they would go to, and they would ask them, like kings and queens and stuff, and rulers would ask them to tell their future. And that's where we got like all those cool Greek epics of, pretty sure it was the Odyssey or the Iliad, where it's like prophesized, I believe. Am I thinking of the wrong thing?
I don't know, but I think
there's a story. There's like a Greek story where it's prophesied that someone's gonna die. They try like forever and a day to like make it not come true, and then it comes true. So like people thought these oracles had like crazy insight into the future, whereas they probably were just kind of like with the Crossroads game. If it's spoken into existence and you're constantly thinking about it, you're manifesting it, and that's how these things came to be.
Oh,
just a thought.
I see. That's fair. That's fair. Hey, we're gonna go off of that logic and reasoning. I'm just saying there might be a story out there, but if an oracle ever tells you that you're going to kill your dad and then fuck your mom, don't think about it because it might come true one day. I'm just saying.
Yep.
Just saying.
Yep.
Just saying. But
oracles are weird, man.
So don't speak that into existence. If it doesn't resonate, just let it go.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
So in these three civilizations, divination was exclusive to oracles and priests, and everyday people couldn't perform these rituals or request like insight into their futures. They couldn't request a reading. It was almost only exclusive to those on war councils and in positions of leadership. Also, Queen Elizabeth used divination a lot and like scrying to look into what kind of paths she should take, like against her enemies.
Wow!
So she had someone that they reached out to and kind of helped them do that.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm. So how did these practices evolve from their uses in ancient civilizations to Long Island medium? Long Island medium. I'm sorry.
Oh,
it
that
sounded
lady
so
with
weird.
The hair and the death nails. I loved it.
I like said island. It was weird. I'm sorry, but let me tell you, the spiritualist movement is said to have started somewhere around the 1840s, and it reached its peak around the early 20th century, so around the 1910s or so. And ultimately, its downfall, or quote unquote downfall, came about in the 1920s. This movement was prominent in Europe. However, it became an even larger spiritual movement in the Americas, specifically in the United States, ultimately being coined a religion, quote unquote, and getting its own term, quote unquote, American spiritualism.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Wow. We really held on to it and ran.
We ran with the wind. Fucking they took off and they did not stop. They're like, this is a religion now. And like so many people joined it. Yeah, it's crazy. Wow. So keep in mind that when this movement began, it was pre-Civil War era in America, which the Civil War lasted from 1861 to 1865, and the spiritualist movement started in the 1840s. Also, I asked you this yesterday on Discord. This is why I asked it. I cannot believe the Civil War happened less than 200 years ago.
Yep. That's amazing. As soon as you had mentioned the Civil War, I was like, first off, that's why you mentioned the comment in Discord. And I can't believe that was not that long ago at all.
Not even 200 years.
Yeah, that's like what, maybe 4 generations of our families ago, of our ancestors ago. That's not far back at all.
It's crazy. It's
Yeah,
insane.
it really is.
I can't believe
It's amazing.
such little time has passed. Like, that's absolutely wild to me. But around the time that the war was in full swing, spiritualism was also in full swing. And the reason being was that people's loved ones would never be coming back home because they were going to war.
Ow! Ow! Owie, 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 ow, my heart. Why would you do that to me?
Yeah.
Ow! Ow! Hold on. I have to stop the bleeding before we go on.
Count to the land of the underground. I don't know if those are the lyrics,
okay.
but I think it's right.
I have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about, but I love it. Okay, I held F to stop bleeding, but okay, it is a successful move. All right, I rolled a 20.
Hold out to stop bleeding. I love it.
That really hurt my heart. And then everyone was looking for a way to like get closure from their loved ones because they were all dying. That just hurts my heart so badly. Ow! Ooh!
Yeah. The spiritual movement was like their way of holding on to hope that they could get in contact with their lost human once more.
Damn.
Yeah. It's just so painful. It's like when you play the Ouija board and you're like, hey, Grandpa, are you there? But it's fucking Zozo being like, yes, Jim, it is me, your grandpa, your grandpapa.
Love it.
And then fucking Jim falls for it.
Right? And then his girlfriend's like, I don't know, she might be into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Call back to that sex joke. Anyway.
But I think the popularity mainly increased because, especially in America, because of the Civil War. So they wanted a way to talk to their husbands and like sons and lost ones once more. And if there were like people out there that could do it without it looking taboo, then they could go and get some help that way. So,
man, gee whiz. Oh, golly,
it's crazy.
Wow.
So the spiritualist movement was basically founded by the Fox sisters, or I guess founded isn't really the right word, but they are the reason that we view it as we do today. Yeah, they ignited the movement. There we go. They were the fire under everyone else's asses, and they're like, get in touch with the spirits. They are trying to talk to you. So the Fox sisters, if you don't know who they are.
OG Weird Girls.
The OG Weird. Yeah. I love that. The OG Weird Girls.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh, we can make merch out of that. Okay, 1 second. Let me just... And marked. Okay, go ahead, Artie. You are?
So, if you don't know who the Fox sisters are, they were 15-year-old Maggie and 11-and-a-half-year-old Kate Fox, who were 2 sisters born and raised in New York. According to the Smithsonian article linked in the show notes, the 2 sisters would hear rapping. So rapping is basically just like knocking or tapping on their walls in their tiny little farmhouse room. Yeah, their mom was a hardcore believer like me, and she didn't even stop to consider that perhaps they were making it up, which if I had kids and they told me they heard knocking, I would grab my kids and get the fuck out of that house because I'm like, I'm not dealing with no demons today. Like, no, thank you. We are leaving. We're going to Cold Stone and we're going to forget about the atrocities that have just happened in our house. Thank you very much.
Amen.
I wouldn't even stop to investigate it. Like,
nope, we're going to teach them denial at a young age, and this is going to stop right now. Thank you. Wow. I agree with you 110%.
Yep. I mean, it's the only way to deal with that type of situation.
Yeah. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Come on, we're not dealing with that.
So,
I do the same thing.
The mom believed everything that she was hearing, but the dad was more skeptical. But ultimately, the matriarch of the house trumps. And she says we're getting the fuck out, but you're getting the fuck out. So, they ended up abandoning ship. And they, like, abandoned that house, and they quickly moved out of there. And she ended up shipping off Maggie and Kate to live with their oldest sister, Leah.
Wow. Okay, maybe there's a little bit of maybe there's a little bit of too much in there. Okay, I wouldn't go on that far. More of the story, but okay, we'll see where the story goes. Continue.
Yeah.
I won't say anything more.
No worries.
That's
any little thought that comes to your head, you go on and tell me. I love hearing it.
Thank you. I'm forming theories right now, but it's too soon to speak of. So I need more information. Tell me more information. Give me the evidence.
I got you.
Thank you.
So let's see. So the article, the Smithsonian article stated, the story might have died there were it not for the fact that Rochester was a hotbed for reform and religious activity. The same vicinity, the Finger Lakes region of New York State, gave birth to both Mormonism and Millerism, which was the precursor to Seventh-day Adventism.
Oh, shit. Wow. Oh, wow. So this thing might have never actually happened if they had not been in that area.
If they had not been, like, handed off to their older sister.
Yeah. Who lived in, like, an area where, like, everyone thought that was super cool and, like, they were into stuff like that. That's amazing. Okay. Wow. This is just another, like, little fluke, chaotic
It's like today's
thing.
Portland.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah. For real, though. Amazing. God, how the world is just so fragile. Continue.
It's really cool.
Amazing.
Let's see. So Leah saw what her sisters were capable of, and overnight they went from living in a shack in New York to living the American dream. They ended up touring all over the country, and they made so much money doing it too, because again, their shows were selling out. So
yeah,
when Leah first started marketing her sister's like psychical abilities, Isaac and Amy Post ended up stumbling across them. So Isaac and Amy, these two people were described as pillars of the community, and they were intrigued, to say the least, which led them to ask the three sisters to demonstrate their abilities, and demonstrate they did. So this was around the time that the Psychical Society for Research started being established. So that's the time when Isaac and Amy Post discovered them. All right. So Leah allegedly ended up speaking to their daughter, who had recently passed away.
Oh my!
And I am putting a very, very strong emphasis on allegedly. Personally, I'm inclined to believe that this contact was not real, but rather they were in too deep, like way too deep, and they had to continue with their bullshit so as to not be caught and labeled as frauds back then, because then they would lose all their money. I do wholeheartedly believe that there are people out there that can communicate with spirits and can communicate with like otherworldly things.
True.
Like there are people that can do that. But I do not believe these three girls were them.
Oh yeah. Sometimes there's just lines you shouldn't cross.
Yeah.
You know?
Like proclaiming to talk to someone's dead child. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
That is messed up.
Weird.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just so fucked up.
Yeah,
I don't know. But something I will say is that skeptics back then were actually much worse than what they are today. So for a little backstory, once the three sisters proved that they could talk to the other side in that assembly hall that was sold out in New York, they freaking... Sorry, I'm going to rewind. Once the three sisters proved that they could talk to the other side after having spoken to Amy and Isaac's dead daughter, they, as in Amy and Isaac, ended up renting out a huge hall in Rochester, New York, where over 400 people came to witness the paranormal activity. So to put this into perspective, let's say, just for fuck's sake, that the tickets to that show were 25 cents back then. Goodness. Okay?
Yeah.
Which equates to roughly $10 today. That is $4,000 in today's money in one night.
Wow.
One night.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. It was probably sold out and everything. Wow, just because of that. Wow.
Mhm.
Oh my. Oh my.
It's fucking insane. It's knucking fucks.
Yeah, no, that is. That's wow. Art is lucrative. Art is very lucrative.
We've said it before and we'll say it again. Art is lucrative.
Yeah.
We should just make that into a sticker.
110%. It is on the list. So copyright on that merch, please.
I'm going to start working on going down that list.
Yeah. I'll add them to the page.
Fuck yeah.
Heck yeah.
All right. So
amazing.
400 people came to witness a paranormal activity. Am I screaming into the mic?
No, you're good.
No? Okay. So they came to witness the paranormal activity. And after the demonstration was over, the three sisters had to go to a dressing chamber in the back, so a dressing room, and they had to disrobe themselves in front of a committee of skeptics so as to prove they weren't lying. I was going to write committing a hoax, but that I'm not sure if that's the right terminology. That also sounds like they're committing something illegal.
Yeah,
so
that's weird, but I can see why. Okay, but okay, I'll let you finish.
Yeah. I don't know. According to the article as well, ultimately around 1888, so years down the line, Kate Fox denied that any of their abilities were ever real and that they had been lying. Allegedly, the two younger sisters, so Kate and Maggie, felt that they were being exploited by Leah. And when she cut the touring cold turkey, they ended up falling into and perpetuating their vices, leading to alcoholism. But kind of touch on like the hoaxes that they talked about.
Yeah.
The reasoning she gave to like everything being fake was that it all started with their mom, and they would do like knocking just to kind of scare her and piss her off.
Oh, no.
And they had like, I think it was like an apple or something that would hit a wall, and they ended up bringing their neighbor over, and the neighbor tried to debunk it and couldn't, so they believed it, and they like abandoned ship and left the house because it was haunted, quote unquote haunted.
Sure.
Yeah. So
wow.
Yeah, so they ended up falling into alcoholism, and eventually all three of them just kind of died quietly.
Dang.
Yeah. But that is the birth of American mysticism and the American spiritualist movements. Other iconic figures during this era, again, are Helena Blavatsky, who's also known as Madame Blavatsky, who ended up writing many influential spiritualist papers and was also believed to be a 500-year-old witch that could conjure money at will. I wish I was a 500-year-old witch that could just fucking conjure. You know how rich I would be?
Bitch, I wish. Yeah. Oh my God.
I'd be so rich right now. I'd live in a nice boathouse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Marina Del Rey. I could afford it. Fuck yeah.
God. I wish man, just okay, the title alone makes me want to be a 500-year-old witch.
Mm-hmm.
And I get to just summon money at will, and I can just create it out of thin air. Alchemy. Who? Yeah, no, I would love that. No, that would be really cool. Yeah, no, I would love that. No, that's going to be my new title. That's what I'm going to live to be. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm going to manifest that.
Fuck yeah.
500-year-old witch. Absolutely.
And just manifest money at will. I love it.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, so Madame Blavatsky, who was a influential spiritualist writer and was also believed to be a 500-year-old witch that could conjure money at will. Andrew Jackson Davis, who was an alleged clairvoyant. And then Sarah Winchester, who was allegedly really into seances and convening with the spirits. We'll do a whole episode on her and her mystery house.
Absolutely.
Someday in the
future. We can also react to the movie. They have a movie made out of it.
I've heard not so great things, but I really want to watch it.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, me too. Oh, can we just make fun of it the entire time? Oh, please.
I'm so
join
down.
me with this.
I'm so down.
Okay, great. Yes. Oh, I can't wait.
That sounds awesome.
Yes. Beautiful.
All right. So, let's see. Aside from the figures, there were also many quote-unquote secret occult societies that cropped up during this time. And the membership to some of the already established occult societies ended up like exponentially increasing because people wanted to be part of like the it crowd, you know?
Sure, absolutely.
During
Market
this-
your
Yeah.
Mhm.
During this movement, people were also just like morbidly curious about life after death. And a lot of people like Aleister Crowley went to extreme lengths to get answers. So,
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh no.
they really went
Okay,
like
here we
head
go.
first into this.
Fuck. Okay.
Yeah. So it said that many figures during the spiritualist movement era used scrying and divination in order to communicate with otherworldly spirits. Some would communicate through knocks and sounds, so kind of like the Fox sisters, whereas others would
Okay.
communicate through Ouija boards and cards. And by cards, I mean like tarot cards. Regardless
Gotcha.
of how
Okay.
they posed their communication, there was one goal in mind: give onlookers quote unquote answers they are seeking and provide any unfinished business that these spirits had. Okay. So,
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
like mentioned earlier, there were definitely people that were the real deal. I mean, there's no way that every single person that came up during this time was a fraud. Like, the chances of that being true are just so low.
Right?
There's no way everyone's a fraud. Someone has to be telling the truth.
Right?
Um,
I've seen it in movies before.
Exactly. All right. So there were definitely people that were the real deal. I mean, there's no way. I already said that. So as we've seen throughout history, as something gains popularity, those snake oil salesmen really start to come out of the woodworks. There were people.
Yeah.
Mhm. There were the John R. Brinkleys of the spiritualist movement. So there were
Ooh,
people.
Great callback.
Mhm. If you haven't listened to that, go listen to episode 6. It's amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Quick plug. There were people that were starting to hop onto this bandwagon, and they were telling people that they were also spiritual mediums with all sorts of abilities, but only did so in order to bring in the massive amounts of money that were associated with this religion. So, because of this fuck up, what ended up happening? As more and more people started to lie about their abilities and fool the public, skeptics and intellectuals alike felt the need to come together and debunk all the hoaxes and basically save people some money.
Yeah, you know what? That is fair. That is true.
This mainly worked in Europe. I forgot to write it down, but there's a quote in one of the articles that says that they tried to help some of the American onlookers debunk this, but like they're just they're like too keen to waste their money. I thought it was so funny.
You know what though? I understand that though. I see. I get it though. Bless them. Thank you.
I would be the same way. I'd be like, no, I'm
You know
enjoying this.
Yeah, and you know what? Nothing's changed.
Exactly.
So, hey, at least I know
still
things are the
gullible.
same as they were then. Yep. But that's money to my ears as a businesswoman. So, as you are, Beverly.
All right. So the Society for Psychical Research, which was mentioned earlier, and that will be referred to as SPR going forward, was founded in 1882 by a group of intellectuals from Trinity College looking to research and possibly debunk many of these claims. So after the original society was created in England, the American Society for Psychical Research was founded in 1885. Their original goal, so like the original goal of both societies was to, as described by Cambridge University Library, was to quote unquote investigate, expose, and reproduce fake psychic effects. So clearly they were of the same mindset. Yeah, there are probably real spiritualists out there, but most of these motherfuckers be lying. So
yeah, they do.
By the research and the reproduction of these effects, you can kind of see like the research method coming through. So you form a hypothesis, you test it, you try to reproduce it, etc., etc. That was the mission statement, okay? And they ended up focusing on 6 areas of study when it was first founded which ended up including mesmerism, mediumship, haunted houses, and seances. The other two I could not find definitions on, so I just kind of skipped them.
Okay, that's fair.
So
that is valid.
Yeah.
Don't state the info. Let it know that it is there, but don't go into details because we don't know it.
Yeah, we don't know it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So, although their original intentions were good, again, investigating, exposing, and reproducing fake psychic effects, some of their methods were questionable at best, and end up putting a huge damper on occult practices. For example, in order to debunk the Fox sisters, they had them undress in the dressing room, if you remember from earlier. First question. In the 1800s, wasn't nudity, like, illegal?
I have no
idea.
idea.
It wasn't a thing, you know? Like, you couldn't see a woman in her knickers and her
I think it was probably, like, definitely... Yeah, depending on, like, the state and jurisdiction and everything. There's probably, like, local laws. I don't know. Yeah. Well, I mean, this was for scientific purposes.
True.
Because they are a society. And if they do sign up for it, like, maybe consenting participants in this, they might...
True.
There might have been some flexibility there. I don't know. There's many, many routes that you can go down.
That is true.
I'm just speculating wildly.
I'm hoping it was just down to their underwear.
Yeah, me too. It's just like, I imagine, like, a group of grown men watching, like, two young girls naked. That's just weird.
Disgusting.
Yeah, I agree. Yucks.
Yuck.
Okay. Ugh.
Yeah. Regardless if it was full frontal or if it was just down to the chonies, it was still fucking rude. I mean, I get it. People, like, women back then especially could hide a whole lot of bullshit underneath their dresses. So I see...
Oh, for sure.
I can see why they would want them to disrobe themselves. But was it really necessary? They're just having fun.
Yeah. I have many questions.
Don't take it so seriously, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the case of the Fox sisters. Another huge criticism that surrounds the SPR is the Hodgson report, which did more good than bad. Yeah. If you don't know what the Hodgson report is, basically, Richard Hodgson was an SPR member from the get-go, so from when it was first established, and he was sent to India in 1884 on a special mission. He had to address and investigate Madame Blavatsky's accounts of materialization and mediumship. So, to kind of give this some backstory, she was claiming that letters were materializing from the other side, written by the Mahatmas. The Mahatmas is, like, translated, it basically means masters or adepts. They're, like, psychical, otherworldly beings that lived in, like, some part of India, I believe.
I see.
In a parallel universe.
Like local spirits.
Yeah. They were basically, like, telling her things that she needed to know, like, different stuff like that. But she was claiming that these were materializing from the other side, addressed to both Blavatsky and her religion, so Theosophy, I believe it was. According to encyclopedia.com, these letters began to mysteriously appear all over the place, and they appeared for different recipients as well. So upon Hodgson's arrival to India, which is where the base was located, the Theosophy base, he got to work. According to the Hodgson report, he found a shrine with a false back and trap doors in which people would then deliver the handwritten letters, and they would mysteriously appear to be found the next morning. He also did handwriting analysis and found that the handwriting in the letters was the same as Blavatsky's handwriting in her personal letters. But something that we know today is that, like, handwriting analysis is kind of fake. Like,
yeah, you got it. Yeah, that's So
I'm debunking that.
That's not the greatest. That's not the most reliable, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so there's been, like, a lot of criticisms against the SPR, especially because of this. It's like, something I kind of want to touch on here is, even if these letters weren't materializing out of thin air, like Madame Blavatsky was claiming, there is still such thing as automatic writing, which is where you kind of just
I see.
lower your spiritual walls and sorry, hold on.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's where you lower your like spiritual boundaries, your spiritual walls, and then you let something write through you, basically. So like you hold the pen. It's kind of like that ghost game you told us about where you like dress the basket up, except it's the spirit's writing through you. So
I see.
What's stopping people? What like even if these didn't materialize from the other side, if they were still written by her through automatic writing, that's still cool, you know? So and like I feel like there's really no way to prove or disprove that, but so there have been
I wonder what their tests were. Yeah, now I'm like kind of like curious.
So other criticisms against them have also been based on their debunking criteria, because so many people think that it's too black and white, whereas spiritualism and mediumship are not so black and white. Like there's a lot of gray area in those subjects. Many people, I don't know, some whereas spiritualism and mediumship are not. Some people are more receptive than others, and it doesn't necessarily mean that one person is a fraud and the other isn't. It's not that easy. Yeah. Like many people, including prior members of the SVR, have accused other members of not being objective, which was like the whole point of the creation of the society in the first place. Like they wanted to be objective. They wanted to replicate these things if they could. They wanted to debunk it if they could, and they wanted to expose frauds if they could. It wasn't just to expose people. Like if there is some paranormal, supernatural, supernormal, whatever occurrence, they could still address that and be like, hey, we can't explain that. That might be the real thing. Yeah. But many people that have joined and continue to join aren't doing so objectively, and they're rather going in just to prove something to themselves. So if you're doing research, like rule number one is to be objective. Like it's science 101. You learn that in every single science class when you're forming your hypothesis, etc. You can't go in with the set idea of how your research is going to go, you know, because then it's just skewed. And it's not real.
Exactly.
So
exactly. That's a beautiful way to put. Yes, absolutely. Elegant way of explaining that, my darling.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
I learned something in college.
That's amazing. Heck yeah! Oh, we proved so many things. Yeah. We are so extra smart.
Extra smart.
Eat our butts.
Smartest. We are farmers. Bum ba dum bum bum bum. So, let's see. So something I would like to touch on here before we wrap things up is that I think many of these spiritualists probably did have some sort of connection to the spiritual realm, whether it was super apparent or not.
Sure.
I've seen spirits before. I'm not over here claiming to be a psychic, though, or a medium. I'm not. Yeah. And I'm never going to claim to be that. And, you know, like, I'm sure you've experienced things kind of like what you told me a couple of weeks ago where you were doing, like, your own inner work and, like, you know, the thing and the stairs. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah,
so
the creepy shit. Oh, yeah. I totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You get like those really weird feelings and shit, and you're like, something's watching me now, or like, like no, you always have like those like gut instincts out of nowhere. Yeah, listen to those. They just feel weird.
Listen to your gut instincts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I say to do that because my grandmother who studied the metaphysical shit, and I think at one point in time she was into the witchy stuff too. She always used to tell me to always trust your gut regardless, but then she would like leave it on a cliffhanger, and I never understood why. So I can't tell if she was fucking with me, or maybe, just maybe, I come from a long line of witches. We'll see. I'll let you know more on it later. I'm figuring that out.
I'm hoping it's the latter.
Like people's. Me too. Oh my God, how cool would that be? And she would do like people's star charts and everything. Like she knew how to do that. Like I have my own little star. I'm gonna frame them. Yeah, they're really cute. Yeah, it's really awesome. Yeah, Wanda was like super into all
Wanda.
That stuff. Yeah.
There's no way she's not a witch.
I know. I'm telling you right now. Yeah. So like,
I want to name my child
I'm
Wanda.
gonna get her books.
That's so cool. I don't know. Like some people can see spirits and other people can't. Like some people are more in touch with their intuition and like their gut feelings, whereas other people aren't. And like the people that are in touch with their gut feelings may not be able to see spirits, and vice versa, you know? So like there's no black and white or like wrong or right way to be in tune with yourself and like the other side. And there is no wrong or right way to do like occult practices unless you're over here sacrificing human beings or animals. Like maybe that's the wrong way, you know? But that's your own prerogative. Sure. We're not encouraging you to kill people. Don't take it the wrong way. We are not professionals. Thank you. But
absolutely. Also, karma is a bigger bitch than you are. So always remember that.
Karma is a bitch.
Yep. She hits harder.
Yeah. So like during the spiritual movement, do I think that all of these people were talking to the dead and materializing ectoplasm out of thin air? No. That's ridiculous. Like there's no way, if there's 100 mediums during this time, there's no way all 100 of them could do that. Do I think some of them could? Absolutely. 100% absolutely. Yeah. I'm not going to rule everything out. Like there's no way all of them were fake. That's just stupid to think that way, you know? Like
I mean, like there could be, but there's like there's like a decent chance that there might be one of them that's telling the truth. You know what I mean? You never know. You have to look at that. There's always a possibility. Nothing's impossible.
And like we don't know everything in this world, you know? So like I don't know. Like why are we just cutting all of these possibilities out without even taking them into account? But
yeah, Bev, you're speaking the truth. Speak the true. Thank you.
I think everyone is at least like a tiny bit in tune with the spiritual realm. You know, trying to be too analytic about it takes the fun out of it. And ultimately, you just have to take the messages that resonate with you and leave the ones that don't. So for example, let's talk about tarot for a second. If you're doing tarot or oracle cards or meditating, let's say you're doing tarot. If you pull the card and see death and you freak out, two things. First of all, maybe do a little bit more research on the cards because death is not a bad card.
Exactly.
Like, it can be a little striking to see that, just like first pull off the bat. But if you look into it, it's not a bad thing. Second of all, try to keep an open mind. Like, just because there's like a set definition for what the death card is or what the moon card is or what this oracle card says, take whatever message you get from it, like intuitively, and apply that to yourself if it resonates. Again, you don't have to take everything that you hear and apply it to your life. Like you wouldn't do that, like, I don't know, with anything else. So, like, why would you do that with the occult? You know?
Yeah.
Just
absolutely.
a little tangent.
Yeah, like for example. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, and as an example of that, like death doesn't mean like someone died. Death can also mean like the end of something.
Rebirth.
So like the end of rebirth. Yeah, it's a new start. It's an end of something old and
the beginning of
birth
something new.
Yeah, exactly. So like, and then it can just apply to like any points of your life, and from like, I don't know, if you're gonna go real morbid, like the death of a loved one, or the ending of a friendship, or the ending of like a relationship, something small, like, I don't know, the end of eating fast food and now you're going to be a health nut, you know, type of thing. Like there's like different forms of, don't freak out for anything. And it can be very small and tiny, minute. So like, that's how like tarot should be. Like,
absolutely.
Viewed.
Yeah. It's a tool for working on yourself and receiving messages that you need to hear from your own mind or from the universe, depending on what you believe.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you what's right or wrong. It's not set in stone. Okay? So just like the tarot or oracle readers on YouTube, like some of the ones that we mentioned earlier, like Kino and ASO, like you said earlier, they're just over here giving you really good advice. Like they're giving you nice messages. If it, like all of these people say, if it resonates with you, take it. If it doesn't, you don't have to take it. Like this is not set in stone. So I don't know.
You're fine.
So just like in the American spiritualist movement, maybe some of them were faking it. But if it's over here giving you hope, is it such a bad thing? I mean, obviously, if they're taking your money,
that's how I think.
it's kind of horrible that they're doing that, and especially if they're pretending to talk to your dead daughter, that's horrible.
Yeah.
But other than that,
like if you're, there's a lot of morals applied.
Yeah. If they're not doing it with the intention of making millions, if they're over here like telling you something that you need to hear, it's not that bad.
Yeah, like genuinely taking care of you. Yeah. And if they make a living off of that way, great. Then that's how I would look at them, as like natural healers. You know what I mean? Like they might have a PhD, like that's what therapists are. They're doing magic. They're working the magic of the mind. And I feel like that's what tarot readers do too. But the good and sincere ones, that's how I view them.
Therapists work the magic of the mind. Ooh, I'm going to clip that.
Exactly. Look how like magical I am whimsical with my words. I am a writer. Thank you so much for noticing.
You are the best writer.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
That was the history of the occult, sort of.
How exciting. Oh, wow.
Like
that was really wonderful.
History leading up to the spiritualist movement in the 19th and 20th centuries. And then like a very brief touch on the 19th and 20th century spiritualist movement, so that we can talk about episode 13 in 2 weeks.
Holy shit. Wow, this is like a Marvel movie. You're setting us up for the future. How very exciting. Oh, I love this. Oh, how exciting. For those if you don't know what our strategy is for making notes, Bev does all of the odd numbers episodes and I do all of the even number episodes. This is an odd number episodes with Bev episode. Obviously, you know what I'm talking about.
Bev-centric.
I'm over explaining things. Bev's episode.
Rachel's
welcome.
episode.
And so
woo.
Next week. Ow! Woo. And so we kind of just like do our own thing and then we react to each other's episodes. So like we like genuinely have like a good reaction to like what we're saying. And so I'm very excited. So when you hear it and you're learning about it, I'm learning about it too. That's a long story short. How fun and cool. All right, cool.
Hi everyone, this is Bev. So we had some recording difficulties here. So we actually lost like the last 4 to 5 minutes of this episode. So I'm just going to go ahead and wrap it up myself. So thank you guys so much for listening to our creepy stories and wild speculations. I know this was a hell of an episode. So if you're listening to this like all the way to the end, you are one heck of a trooper. Send us a message. We'll give you a shout out. But this has been the Dark by Design podcast. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and follow for more monstrous episodes released every Monday at midnight. You can also find more information about today's topic on the show's website at darkbydesignpodcast.com or on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at darkbydesign_podcast. You can also listen to us on all of your favorite podcast streaming sites or watch the show on the YouTube channel if you want to watch our reactions. And then also remember that this is a two-way relationship. So if you have any creepy encounters, ghost stories, personal true crime stories, or all around just weird shit that has ever happened to you, and you would like to share it with your fellow Coven members, then please DM us your story on socials or email us at darkbydesignpodcast@gmail.com and put listener story in the subject line. We do prefer email over like social media stories, just so that we don't lose your story. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. This has been Dark by Design, and we will see you next Monday. Bye.
The world's most shocking monster. Never have you known such cringing terror, such sudden shock.